Okay, so I really want to talk about this. I saw this thread on Twitter not too long ago, maybe like a couple hours ago as of recording this video. I saw Fousey give this super long, drawn out explanation. Well, not really drawn out, that's kind of disrespectful to say, but he did write a pretty lengthy thread, basically going over his mental health, his turmoil, and the stuff he suffered. And I have to say that this time, it sounds extremely persuasive. In the past, Fousey has made a spectacle out of his mental health, for lack of better words. He has made it an incredibly large point of his personality that he's mentally ill. And every single time that he's been called out on it, or whenever he's had a rough falling out with his mental health, he made a glamour out of it. Like last time, he started freaking out in public and basically traumatizing people around him, only to end up in a mental hospital not too long after. So, for the most part, Fousey has had a bunch of ups and downs regarding his mental health, but each and every time, not a lot of people actually took it very seriously. If anything, people typically just said that Fousey was just playing it up for views, for attention, so that he could get clouded. But this time, even though he didn't make a whole video about it, even though it was just in a Twitter thread, this genuinely feels a lot more persuasive, a lot more hard-hitting than any other time he's come out about his mental health, which has been quite a lot of times now. And honestly, I typically don't like talking about other people's tragedies or terrible situations because I feel like it's kind of disrespectful. So in respect to Fousey, I'm not going to monetize this video, but I genuinely have something to say that I saw that pisses me off. So before I get into that, just to get into a little breakdown of what it is that I saw this thread, and just to elaborate to all of you who don't want to read this. I actually took the time to read this. It is a little bit of a long read. He goes on to say that he's been battling with depression for a while now, that he's told this story countless times, that he's lived his life doing nothing but chasing clout, that he's always found success in Hollywood, in being a creator, in doing YouTube, that he's proud that he was able to make an audience and be able to make a living selling merch, doing stuff on YouTube. He says that he's trying to do everything to regain some kind of sanity. Several amounts of drugs, including ketamine, and some other drugs that I can't pronounce, mushrooms, buff, medicine, talk therapy. Like, he's saying some things here that he has never elaborated on in the past. In the past, when he's been interviewed, for example, in the Ethan Klein show, H3H3, he said that he's attempted everything, but he never went into too much detail as to what. He just said that he's gotten some experimental medical treatment. This is the first time that Fousey has ever actually elaborated this much into what he's been through or what he's done to try to get better, or the things that he's done to try to remedy his situation, which, in my opinion, it makes me feel like he's going fully mask off. So, to me, he's not trying to play up his character anymore. He's not trying to put up a front for sympathy anymore. Like, this person has genuinely hit rock bottom, and he elaborates that. He says that he regrets a lot of the stuff that he's done, that he doesn't have a lot of people to talk to, that he can't reach out to anybody because he's kicked everybody out of his life. He goes about some things that he's done terribly to other people. He goes on and says that he is genuinely stuck in a very deep pit, but despite all of that, despite his cry for help in this case, nobody seems to be taking him seriously, and that's what really irks me. That's what really pisses me off, because Fousey, a long time ago, if people were to actually have taken him seriously, if he surrounded himself with people that genuinely cared for him, that genuinely understood what type of person he was, if he wasn't always chasing clout and fake individuals, he probably wouldn't be as deep stuck in the situation as he is. And honestly, I can't even blame him for it, because there's a lot of manipulative people out there that will take advantage of your situation like that. And Fousey, in the past, has been very manic, right? So there would be times when Fousey would go out of his way to just give away a fuck ton of money or spend a fuck ton of money recklessly just so he could fill his ego, just so he could say he's big dog. And anytime somebody tried to stop him, he would just lash out because there's nobody who's been around him to show him that these behaviors are bad. And if there has been, he simply just kicked them out because these things weren't reinforced to him early on. And I'm not a therapist, so I can't say this for certain, but that's just my assessment, right? I think that Fousey has had a lot of bad influences. Even if he is an adult, I feel like you can still be easily influenced if you're mentally unstable. And I find that very sad and very unjust because there's many instances where you can see that people around him aren't there for his best interest. And I have to say, I have to yap, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing a long yap session right now. I have to say that I don't like Fousey. I don't really respect Fousey as a person. He's not a great individual, but anybody who's struggling with this type of mental illness, this is something that I genuinely, like to the bottom of my heart, I genuinely sympathize with these type of issues because I've met a lot of mentally ill people in my life, and in my opinion, I feel like I can empathize and sympathize with people on a level that a lot of people can't, and you can go ahead and make fun of that. Whenever I see people struggling like this, I can't help but to feel extremely bad and feel like a pit in my stomach for these people. So I took the time to read this. I took the time to hear Fousey out. And when I saw the replies, that made me it made me mad. It made me incredibly uncomfortable because he's being genuine, probably for the first time in his life, or at least that's what I think. He's seriously coming out and saying things that he's never said before, elaborating on details that a lot of us wish we would have known sooner. And people just aren't taking him seriously. A bunch of the comments are just basically saying, nah, that's too long, I didn't read that, or I'm sorry that happened, or memeing about it, or even trying to promote themselves towards him, right? Or saying some stupid shit that is not relevant to his mental illness, disrespecting him, his own friends, other influencers, Zherkam himself, somebody who should genuinely be respecting somebody he considers a friend, isn't taking this seriously. Instead of sitting down and reading this person's cry for help, this person's genuine and deepest sorrow, instead of sitting down and reading it and understanding it, these guys just want an elaboration and can't be asked to read it for themselves. This type of shit is genuinely so disrespectful. You can't even be bothered to see what your friend has to say if you so-called claim him as a friend. I'm sorry if I'm taking like the moral high ground right now, but I genuinely wish that some people would take his situation or situations like this in general a lot more seriously. A lot of people can genuinely just feel better by finding solace in others' understanding of their situation. And then I see this tweet right here, collab with Vitaly. Okay, look, nobody in their right mind, if they're going through these issues, should collab with somebody like Vitaly who has no regard for anybody but themselves. Nobody should care to even imply these type of things. If anything, you should just say, I understand you 100% instead of trying to mock the guy. And that's what I really hate. A lot of people are genuinely just mocking this individual, and I hate that. I really hate that. Some people are going to get mad at me because I'm taking the moral high ground, but honestly, I feel like this has to be said because at the end of the day, even if I disagree with Fousey fundamentally as a person, even if I don't really respect Fousey fundamentally as a person, even if I dislike the guy, I still feel like he deserves an opportunity at getting better and redeeming himself not only as a person, but as a character, and also find a way to resolve his mental issues. All that being said, I hope you guys can show a little bit of support towards Fousey and understand that this guy is an individual, a human being just like the rest of us, and deserves a little bit of understanding from everybody, instead of being played off as some manic, crazy individual like the rest of these morons are doing. I may have made my jokes in the past in one of my videos or two of my videos, and honestly now I kind of regret poking fun of him because he genuinely is in a headspace that honestly I genuinely wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So, to Fousey, I genuinely hope that you get better soon, even though I know these types of battles take ages and ages to resolve, sometimes even a lifetime. I wish that your recovery is quick, speedy, and that you find something that gives you purpose again, because I never like seeing people fall into these deep, dark depths of mental health, how could I put it? Anguish, I guess. I really don't like seeing people suffer or struggle, especially not when it comes to mental health. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Anybody who watched towards the end, I appreciate you for watching and hearing what I had to say. I apologize if the commentary in this video is a little bit lower quality than the previous ones. I did this with 100% no notations, no script, no nothing, no words or anything that I could think off of. I just wanted I wanted this to be as sincere as possible because I genuinely care about these issues, and I'm not going to put up a front to try to make content out of somebody's tragedy. I'm making this video because I genuinely want to express my concerns for Fousey. And again, my condolences and my respect goes out to him for coming out in a more genuine and sincere way. I hope the best for him, and I hope that everybody who watches this video can come to the same conclusion. Thank you.